first trimester can be such a drag. I don't mean to burst your bubble, but it can be really a drag. But the good news is by second trimester, you are back to your normal self. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to another exciting episode of TTC Diaries with Dr. O. You already know, and I'm always excited to have you guys here with me as usual. I'm sure you're wondering why I'm smiling like this. I'm pretty much excited because again we received another video request from one of our Ozone community members. Shout out to you, Ozone community members. You guys are the best. So basically, her name is Miss A. Of course, that's not her real name because we don't reveal real names on the show, as you already know. And she basically sent a DM requesting for this video. So the backstory is that she has irregular periods, and basically she would not even know when she became pregnant because, you know, irregular periods means that your periods don't come regularly. So you might have a period this month, you might not have it next month, or for even the next 2 or 3 months, and then you have another one. So basically it's difficult to even tell when you're pregnant because most times when people miss their period, that's when they realize that maybe I'm pregnant. But for her, missing her period does not necessarily mean pregnancy, right? And you know, because she's trying to conceive, it means like she has to like do a pregnancy test every single month she misses her period, even when it's probably due to the irregularity in her cycle and all that. So she just wanted to know, like, is there any other way that she can know she's pregnant without having to take a pregnancy test, or at least before she takes one? Or is there any sign or symptom that could probably prompt her to take a pregnancy test? And I was like, very good question. You've come to the right place as usual, because I always have all the answers to your question. That's why you guys love me. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about 10 ways to know you're pregnant before you take a pregnancy test, aka 10 early symptoms or signs of pregnancy. So stick around. These pregnancy symptoms we're talking about, they are general symptoms of pregnancy, but more specifically symptoms that you get in your first trimester. And some of these symptoms even appear before you take a pregnancy test. So you might start to experience some of these symptoms and you're like, what's happening? Like, what's going on? What's happening with me? Like, am I really okay? You know? So some of you might not even realize that it's pregnancy. You might be thinking some other things. So let me tell you now, so that if you spot any of these changes, or if you notice any of these signs or symptoms, then you might want to take a pregnancy test. So our number one symptom, sore breasts. So when you get pregnant, a lot of times for some people, even before they miss their period, they start to notice that their breasts are really sore. Their nipples get really sensitive, and for some people their breasts even start to feel fuller. So your breasts will be feeling a little fuller or bigger than usual, and you'll be like, okay, what's going on here? You know, some might not really notice it. For some, those are not the first changes that happen to them, but for a lot of people, these are the first changes they notice. You just notice that all of a sudden breast is looking a little bigger and it's kind of sore. If someone mistakenly hits you there, it's like really painful and all that, right? If that's happening to you, it just might be a sign that you're pregnant. If you've missed your period or you're expecting your period soon, you might want to do a pregnancy test once you miss your period, because that just might be a sign that the baby is finally here. The next sign of really early pregnancy before you take a pregnancy test is, so for people that have conceived before, even though you're trying to conceive, you know, maybe you've conceived before and you're just trying to conceive now after a long time, has this happened to you that you just notice that you're going to the toilet frequently every time to pee? Toilet is your best friend. TTC moms, this is one of the early signs of pregnancy. If you notice that all of a sudden your visits to the toilet are increasing and you're just going to pee all the time, and people are like, what's going on? Especially when it's not like you're drinking more water than you usually do, that is one of the early signs of pregnancy. And let me burst your bubble, it's going to stay with you throughout the first trimester, might disappear a bit in the second trimester, but you will have it more in the third trimester. So get ready, toilet is going to be your best friend once you get pregnant. You know, like most pregnant women, when you go to a place, let's say you're outside your house, the first thing you want to spot or locate is the toilet, because you know that you're definitely going to visit it. The next sign of early pregnancy, which we're going to talk about, When you get pregnant, you're just going to be so tired a lot of the time, especially in your first trimester. After first trimester, all the energy will just come back from nowhere. But you see that first trimester, you're going to be so tired. And this is caused by, the changes in hormone in your body, especially the rise in progesterone hormone. That hormone makes you tired. If you just notice that you're sleeping more than usual, you're more tired than usual, and it's not like you are stressed or you are doing anything strenuous, you might want to take a pregnancy test and you miss your period. The next sign I'm about to talk about. Have you noticed that some pregnant women, they become Scooby-Doo? Who knows Scooby? Sniffing about the place. I smell something. I smell something cooking. I smell perfume. Is that this that you're wearing? Your lotion is too strong. The lotion is not strong. Your nose is the one that is too strong. So when you get pregnant, for some people, they have a heightened sense of smell. You can smell things from miles away. Things that they don't ordinarily smell, they start to smell them. Most pregnant women experience it. Maybe not all, but most pregnant women experience it. So if you notice that your nose is doing overtime, you might want to do a pregnancy test. The next sign that happens to a lot of women, when you become pregnant or when you get pregnant, not all women, but some women begin to experience excess salivation. So their mouth is producing more saliva than usual. You just find out that there is just so much saliva in your mouth and you want to spit it out. Sometimes you are able to swallow it back, but sometimes even swallowing it might make you feel nauseous, so you just want to spit it out. And the more you spit, the more saliva is coming. Yeah, that's a very, very annoying symptom of first trimester pregnancy. The good thing is, for most women, after that first trimester, it goes away, but for some it lasts for the whole pregnancy. So you see them carrying little containers about and spitting inside, or some that are not very nice, they just be spitting everywhere. It's not a really nice symptom, and most women dread it, but it does happen to women. In another video, I'm going to be talking about how to deal with excess salivation in pregnancy. Like, how do you deal with this very annoying symptom? We'll talk about that in a video you should definitely look out for. The next symptom I want to talk about is something that is very closely related to the excess salivation. If in a movie you see a young girl or a woman that starts throwing up everywhere, we all know that that means she's pregnant. That's the universal sign for pregnancy in most African movies. So nausea is a sign of pregnancy, especially in the first trimester, and it could happen early, even before you miss your period. You just notice that all of a sudden you start feeling like you want to throw up. You might eat something and it's like you want to throw up. You might smell something and it's like you want to throw up. There's so much saliva in your mouth and it's making you feel like you want to throw up. First trimester can be such a drag. I don't mean to burst your bubble, but it can be really a drag. But the good news is, by second trimester, you are back to your normal self. Another symptom that is very common in early pregnancy is what's called bloating. You know how you feel like you've not even eaten anything. All you just did is probably eat one biscuit or eat one very small portion of food, and you just feel so full, like you have eaten everybody's food, like you ate one whole big bowl of soup and swallow, and you are just full for almost the whole day. You just feel full. You don't even want to eat anything because your tummy just feels full, right? That's one of the symptoms of pregnancy. If you notice that you're someone that used to like to eat before, you just eat everything is inside, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm full, I don't want to eat. And people will be like, you don't want to eat. Are you sure? Are you sure you're not pretending? Just think twice and say, this bloating, could it be pregnancy? Now, of course, there are other sicknesses, illnesses, diseases that might cause bloating, but it's definitely a first trimester pregnancy symptom. So if you have bloating and another symptom, then you might just be considering taking a pregnancy test. Next thing I want to talk about is very closely related to the first symptom I mentioned, if you remember, and it's called darkening areola. So basically, areola is the area, that dark area that surrounds your nipples. So you know the rest of your breast is much lighter in color, but that areola part is darker. So you just notice that during pregnancy, it's going to get even darker than it usually is. So you might need to be pretty observant to notice that this thing is actually darker than usual. A lot of people might not even notice. But for some really observant people, they will just be like, this thing is really darker than usual, you know. That might be a sign, you know, soreness of the breast combined with darkening areolas, ding, 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 ding. Do a pregnancy test. You just might be pregnant. The reason why we're discussing these signs is so if you suspect that you may be pregnant, you'll be more cautious about the things you eat, you'll be more cautious about the things you do. For example, you won't go and get an x-ray because you know an x-ray in first trimester is bad for the baby. So you'll be more cautious about something. That's why it's good to know these signs, so that in case you get pregnant, even before you do a pregnancy test, you might have an idea that, oh, I might be pregnant. I need to stop taking alcohol. I need to cut down on certain foods, those kind of things. And I need to eat healthy, and I need to start taking supplements and all that. So it's just basically so you are one step ahead of the game, right? Baby won't surprise you, but you surprise the baby first. That's the idea. Another sign you may notice for people that are very observant about their body is that your cervical mucus, so the vaginal discharge that you normally have maybe monthly, especially during your ovulation period, it increases in amount, so it becomes more, right? You just see that, okay, you're having more and it's lasting longer. So basically, you need to be able to differentiate this from an abnormal vaginal discharge where you probably have a genital tract infection, right? Abnormal discharges, they're usually foul smelling in most cases, and they come along with other symptoms like lower abdominal pain, itching in the genital area, all those kind of things. I'm going to be doing another video for how you can differentiate between abnormal and normal vaginal discharge, right? But this video is focusing on early pregnancy symptoms, so watch out for that one. The last early sign of pregnancy, which I want to discuss right now. Now, this sign or symptom, not everyone may experience it, or some may experience it without even knowing, right? So let me just say it before I go ahead to explain. I'm talking about implantation bleed. Have you ever heard of implantation bleed before? This is like light spotting. So spotting means that there is small blood, like you're having your period, but spotting means that the blood is not so much. So it's literally like it sounds, just small spots of blood, or at least little amount of blood that is not even enough to fill a sanitary pad, right? So that's spotting. And of course, there are different medical conditions that could cause spotting, but in this case, the spotting just happens maybe slightly before you miss your period, and it's not something that lasts, right? Maybe it just lasts a day, 2, that kind of thing. It's not like a regular period that might last 3, 4 days to 1 week. No, this one just lasts maybe a day or 2, and it's very, very light blood. For some people, it might even be negligible blood. You may never even know that you had the implantation bleed, right? Some people could mistake it for a period, that, oh, maybe it's my period that came, but it was just a light period. It wasn't as heavy as it usually is, right? So people could actually mistake this for a period, but that is implantation bleed. So this might not be the best of symptoms, because you could be easily confused with your period if you just feel like you had a light period, or if you're someone that your period was irregular before and there was no real regular pattern or flow to things. So you might want to look out for this sign, especially if you have a regular period. Those are all the signs of early pregnancy I have for you today. Let me know, have you experienced any of these signs for TTT moms that have actually conceived before? Or have you heard of people talking about these signs? Have you read about these signs before? Which of these signs are you actually looking forward to experiencing when you finally get pregnant? Let me know in the comment section down below. I always love to hear from you. I want to hear when you get pregnant. We're always excited to celebrate your pregnancy story with you. So we look forward to hearing the good news that you're finally pregnant. If you enjoyed watching this video, please don't forget to like and click the subscribe button. Share it with someone that you think needs to see this. Like I always say, you're not alone on this journey to motherhood. Just keep your eyes on the prize, and your baby will be here sooner than you think. See you next week.